Welcome to the McTaggart Attack podcast. I'm Kevin McTaggart. It's Monday, July 5th, 2021. Monday is entitled Kevin's Monday Therapy, where I just talk about whatever I want to talk about. And Wednesdays are What's Pissing You Off Wednesday, where I talk about whatever you want to talk about. That's how all this works so far. I've thought of other themes for other days, but I'm not ready to do that yet because I don't know if they're good ideas or not. But right now, I'm just sticking to 2 episodes a week because. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So this week, I like to be as full and disclose information as much as possible. I'm recording it. I'm recording the podcasts differently this week. I've back to a way that I've done them before, and I'm hoping that they actually work. And I think they are. I've tested it enough times today, and I'm pretty sure it's going to work. But we'll see. What I'm doing today is I'm recording via the camera on the laptop. That's right. I'm using the laptop camera again, and I have my USB microphone hooked up. And I made the lighting lighter, but I might change the color of it because I stopped using the laptop camera to record the podcast because I would record it through Wondershare Filmora, that program, and there was a lag like between what I was saying and what was appearing on screen, and that was messing with me. And I stopped doing it. That's why I just started recording the podcast as audio only because I got pissed off about how the video was going. But today I had an epiphany or a come to Jesus moment, if you're one of those people who like to say that I can record it on my laptop through the camera app on the laptop, and then take that file and put it in Filmora and edit it that way. And I think that's going to work. I tested it a little bit earlier today, and I think the sound is working. I hope this is the version that we're using. If not, I'm going to be pissed off. We'll see. I don't know. Anyway, so that's how we're recording the podcast episodes this week. Anyway, there's a few things I want to take a jab at today to get off my chest. And first thing I want to talk about is how I've been doing. Like I've been having anxiety issues the past couple months, and then like I'll meditate that day when I'm feeling really bad, and I'll feel better. And I've been struggling with stuff at work because there's new stuff that I'm learning, and I have anxiety about that. And I'll meditate and I'll feel better. And then it dawned on me that I really should meditate every day. Not just on the days when not just when I'm in a bad mood. I should meditate every day. Even when you're in a good mood, you should still meditate. I shouldn't just meditate because I'm in a bad mood. So, I've started meditating every day since last Sunday, I think. Monday or Sunday, I think. Last Monday. Definitely last Monday. Maybe even Sunday. I'm not even sure how long it's been since I've not meditated during the day. I actually haven't meditated today because it's Sunday and it was lazy, and I wanted to record the podcast. And I figured me not meditating before the podcast is probably a good idea for content purposes. I don't know. We'll see. This might be horribly wrong. I don't know. But yeah, I'll definitely meditate later today after I'm done recording all of these podcast episodes, which are just 2 podcast episodes, but I just wanted to iterate that, like, it's important to meditate every day, even when you're in a good mood, because I think it just sort of builds up. It's a medication. It's a meditation practice, so you have to practice it every day. And by God, this week has gone by a lot better at work because of meditation. So I highly encourage you to look into it. If you're someone who has like anxiety issues, worrying constantly, have thoughts racing in your head, it just helps you become more aware of that. And I encourage meditation. It's been something I've been dabbling with since 7 years now, really, when I first read the 10% Happier book by Dan Harris. And then I would meditate a little bit. I would try to practice it over the years. And then last year, I met with a therapist once, and she mentioned apps, and she mentioned the 10% Happier app. And I'm like, I've thought of using the 10% Happier app, but I didn't want to pay for it. And then I'm like, I think I should start paying for it now. It's a paid app, but it's really good. It has a lot of great guided meditations on a variety of topics. So I highly encourage you to check it out. I wish that 10% Happier had like an affiliate program so I could, make money off people using the 10% Happier app. I should look into that, I think. We'll see. I don't know. Anyway, that's what I wanted just to start the podcast off with, is just encouraging people that you need to meditate every day, not just the days that you feel like shit. Do it especially on your good days, because that'll make them better. That's what I think anyway. What else do I want to talk about today? I feel like the universe got some messages wrong. Because on the same day that they didn't free Britney as everyone wanted them to, Bill Cosby ended up being freed. No, we didn't want Bill Cosby freed. We wanted Britney Spears freed. What the hell are you doing? What the hell is this? Doesn't make any sense here. We didn't want Bill Cosby freed. We wanted Britney Spears freed. Did we want Britney Spears freed, though? I'm gonna be honest. I really don't care if Britney Spears is freed or not. I mean, she obviously has made some terrible decisions in her life to where other people had to take control of her. So, I haven't watched the Free Britney documentary. I heard about it, but I haven't watched it. And I'm sure that will make a compelling argument for the conservatorship to be ended. But that's the thing with documentaries, is that it can tell a story and give supporting arguments for their stance. Documentaries can claim to be as objective as they want, but they're not, because they're still the view of that person making the documentary. You can have someone that makes a very objective documentary that wants to take both sides of the story, that shows both sides, and that's great. But I'm just wondering, this Free Britney documentary that everybody's gotten behind, it's really just one side of the story. I think. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't watched the Britney Spears documentary. I don't think I'm going to. Maybe I will. I'm not sure. Is it on Netflix? I'm not sure. Let me know where I can find the Free Britney documentary, or even if it's worth watching. Am I right that it's really just a subjective look at the situation? Because to me, I'm just like, if she fucked up enough in her life, maybe she shouldn't be in charge of her life. You know? Don't want her to blow all of her money. What if they do free her and she like just blows all of her money? What if they free her and she kills herself? You know? Then like, oh, maybe we shouldn't have freed her after all. Bill Cosby, on the other hand, should not be free. And let's be clear about this. Bill Cosby is not innocent at all, whatsoever. The 30 to 40, at least 30 to 40 women who've claimed he seduced them and drugged them and raped them over the decades, will disagree that he's innocent. He's not innocent. The only reason why Bill Cosby is out of prison is because the Pennsylvania prosecutors absolutely suck. Because they promised him he wouldn't be prosecuted for his comments back in 2005. So they used those comments in the trial. And they shouldn't have done that. It was a fuck up on their part. So the prosecutors are to blame for this whole Bill Cosby thing. I think Bill Cosby and O.J. Simpson should go on tour together, you know? Some Yay America tour. Or Prosecutors Suck tour. Thank you, Prosecutors tour. Some sort of celebratory tour to celebrate their lives because they're out. They're out of jail. And it's all our justice system's fault because they suck at the logistics. Yes, innocent people end up in jail. And also, guilty people end up out of prison. Those are two glaring problems with our justice system, is that innocent people end up staying in jail and guilty people end up getting out or getting off because they have better lawyers or whatever, or because of issues or mistakes made by the prosecution that frees them years later. It's crazy. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. Can't wait for that Bill Cosby comedy tour that's he's trying to have happen. I understand he's already trying to reach out to comedy clubs. Someone's going to have him perform. He's going to be on the road performing. And people are going to go watch. I might go. I don't support him at all. He's a disgusting monster who should have stayed in prison. But it almost feels like a car crash thing that I need to see how this is going to go. Will anyone laugh? I imagine they will. If Louis C.K. can still get, gigs at comedy clubs, so can Bill Cosby. They shouldn't, but they will. Because America. America. What the fuck else I was going to talk about today? Oh, yeah, Chloe from Smallville. Allison Mack, that her name? She's been sentenced to 3 years in prison for being the second in command for that whole Nexum sex slave thing. Sex cult thing. So, having Chloe from Smallville end up in prison was not the ending of Smallville that I was expecting. Honestly, I wasn't expecting that ending. Were you expecting that ending? What a twist of an ending to Smallville, with Chloe ending up in prison for running a sex cult. This all goes back to, though, my talk about the documentaries earlier, because I watched that docuseries, The Vow, which documented the whole Nixon, um, Allison Mack, and that other guy, um, the guy who led it, who's in jail for like hundreds of years now, I think. It's like the whole docuseries was like one side. It was all these people that saw the light and left because they realized it was a sex cult. Did you really leave it because it was a sex cult, or because you were engaging in the sex cult and you decided to leave the sex cult because you didn't want to get in any trouble? So you make this documentary to make yourselves look good and look like the innocent victims here when you're actually not the innocent victims at all. I I, I want to look. I can't wait for season 2, because I think season 2 might be showing a different light on all this. I also understand that there's another docu-series or documentary, um, about this whole Nixon sex cult thing that I think I want to check out, because I think that shows those people that made the Vow documentary in a different light. So there's two docu-series that I need to watch, like the Free Britney one, and the the the, the second docu-series about the Nixon sex cult. The leader of that. Why is it all these cult leaders have to look like Jesus? You ever notice that? All the cult leaders look like Jesus. It kind of makes you think, was Jesus a cult leader? Maybe he was. Maybe he was right to get crucified. I don't know. I wasn't there. Did it even happen? But apparently it did. That's right. Did Jesus deserve to get crucified was not a topic that I was thinking I'd mention today on um, the McTaggart Attack podcast. Did not anticipate hearing about that, talking about that today. Um, what else do I want to talk about today? Oh yeah, it's the 4th of July. It's the 4th of July, and as I'm recording this, it's the 4th of July. It's July 5th as you're watching and listening to this now. But just want to go on record as saying that fireworks are stupid and overrated, and they're loud and they're annoying, and I hate them. You can like them all you want, and that's great, and that's fantastic. But I really just don't just don't give a shit. They're stupid. They're annoying. I'm not going to go watch fireworks. I don't find that interesting. I don't find that fun. One thing is because it seems like people, you know, explode fireworks every fucking weekend. So it's like having fireworks go off on the 4th of July nowadays is just sort of like, meh. Happens all the time. Who gives a shit? If fireworks happened just on the 4th of July, then that would be one complete thing. But like, they have fireworks go off for everything nowadays. So it's like, who gives a shit about fireworks? It lessens the importance of fireworks going off on the 4th of July. I could understand for fireworks going off on the 4th of July, but I hate when fireworks go off every other time of the year. So it's just stupid to me. I'm just tired of the whole fireworks phenomenon. I think fireworks are stupid. I think the fireworks are overrated. And I'm just done with caring about the whole fireworks phenomenon. Like if someone touts an event and say, there'll be fireworks afterwards, I'm like, I'm leaving early. I'm leaving early if there are fireworks afterwards. I don't care about your fireworks. I don't care. I don't care at all about your fireworks. But you go ahead and enjoy them if you enjoy fireworks. I'm just telling you, I don't enjoy them. Because I think they're stupid and overrated. let's see. Let's talk wrestling to end the podcast today. Uh, I was I think Mark Henry said this on the Busted Open Radio show the other day when Selena Vega returned on SmackDown after she had been released. And he mentioned how he had a conspiracy theory that he thinks that Fox demanded all of the good wrestlers be on SmackDown because they're paying so much money for it. They demand the best people on the Friday SmackDown show. And he said after he saw Zelina Vega show up on SmackDown, he's like, it's not a conspiracy theory anymore. It has to be the truth. It has to be, it's a theory. It's probably true. It makes sense, which is unfortunate because it hurts Raw. Because you don't see all the people that are on SmackDown on Raw, which is a shame. I hate the brand split. But I think it's a thing that we're going to have to deal with. I wish that, like, yeah, I just wish that wasn't the case, but his theory makes a lot of sense, because Raw is the worst show of the week. It shouldn't be 3 hours. It's the worst wrestling show of the week, I should say. It shouldn't be 3 hours. Too fucking long. And they have a bunch of wrestlers that no one really cares about for that much. There are a few, but there's just some wrestlers that nobody really gives a shit about, which is unfortunate. I was thinking that it would be cool if, like, Fox and the USA Network traded show names, because that's the only way Raw could be better, is if Fox bought Raw instead of SmackDown. Because then SmackDown would have been the crappiest show. Because SmackDown usually is the crappiest show, but now SmackDown is their best show. And it's on Friday nights, and usually I don't want to usually sit and watch TV on Friday nights. I want to be out, but we'll see about that. But it is a very interesting theory about Mark Henry, and I think he's right, that Fox demanded that they have the best wrestlers on their show. And that's what's happened. The most interesting wrestlers, the most compelling storylines. I like what happens on SmackDown. I don't like what happens on Raw. I was wondering the other day, why do we love SmackDown so much and we hate Raw so much? And it just makes total complete sense. Is it because all of the wrestlers that we like, that we care about, are on SmackDown? All of the wrestlers that we really don't care about are on Raw. And that's why. That's why. One more thing from Busted Open radio show that I wanted to talk about this week. Sort of. Bully Ray gave his opinions on Eddie Kingston's promo following the Saturday Night Dynamite, where he bashed WWE, calling them the other channel, saying how they didn't have a heart and stuff like that. He bashed AEW. I mean, he bashed WWE. And Bully Ray talked about how, there's only a few people from AEW that can bash the WWE locker room, the ones that had been in the locker room. And that was like, he mentioned a few names like Cody Rhodes, Chris Jericho, Miro, Mark Henry could if he wanted to. And the one clip that everybody is getting upset about is when he tells Eddie Kingston to shut the fuck up and stay in his lane. And Bully may or may not be right about it. I don't know. I mean, one good point that he made in his comments was that when Eddie Kingston made those comments, it didn't really get the pop from the crowd that I think he was expecting. But I do think that AEW needs to stop with the WWE bashing, okay? They just need to focus on their own product, okay? Like, just worry about making your show good, instead of bashing the other show. Because WCW used to bash the WWE a lot. And WCW is not a thing anymore. Okay? Also, I just have this feeling that, like, once live crowds come back, the WWE's been sort of like lollygagging for the past year and a half, doing just enough. I mean, they've made a shitload of money. They've made more money during the pandemic than they did before the pandemic. But I just have a feeling or a hope that the WWE is going to be picking it up a notch once live crowds come back in a couple weeks. And then that might not be a good thing for AEW. We'll see what happens. Can AEW continue this momentum now that live crowds are back? I think they can, but I'm just like, they just need to be careful. And along with the WWE, I'm very curious to see how it'll go with live crowds coming back and both shows, both promotions having live crowds, all the promotions having live crowds sooner rather than later. It's going to be very interesting, and I'm looking forward to it. I just wonder, I just have a sneaking suspicion that the WWE is just going to kick it up a notch, and I wouldn't be surprised if they make themselves clearly still the best wrestling promotion in the world, because they are. AEW may think that they are, but they're not yet. They could be soon. But I just have a sneaking suspicion that once live crowds come back, it's going to change some things. I don't know. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I just think something is going to happen. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens once live crowds come back. And that's the bottom line. If you smell what the McTaggart Attack podcast, available wherever you listen to podcasts and on YouTube, is cooking.